Charles "PeeWee" Goldsmith was no ordinary figure. His name carried weight, even if his stature didn't. A man who left an undeniable mark. He was known for his sharp mind, fearless attitude, and the kind of influence that extended far beyond what most could imagine. His story isn't just one of ambition. It's a tale of resilience, strategy, and an ability to navigate through the toughest of situations with precision. People who knew him often said that behind his small frame was a mind capable of orchestrating some of the most calculated moves ever seen. His life was built on a mix of street smarts, quick thinking, and an unshakable determination that made him a figure of legend in the world he dominated. The rise of Charles "PeeWee" Goldsmith. From the moment Charles "PeeWee" Goldsmith stepped into the world he would later dominate, it was clear he was cut from a different cloth. He wasn't born into power, nor was he handed success on a silver platter. Instead, he built his empire through sheer grit, intelligence, and an uncanny ability to see opportunities where others saw dead ends. His early years were marked by hardship, but while others crumbled under pressure, Goldsmith thrived. He observed, he listened, and most importantly, he learned. Every lesson, every setback, and every minor victory shaped him into the force he would become. He understood that success wasn't just about strength. It was about strategy, patience, and knowing when to strike. One of the most remarkable things about Goldsmith was his ability to stay 10 steps ahead. His mind worked like a chessboard, each piece moving exactly where he needed it to be. While rivals relied on brute force or short-term gains, he played the long game. He made alliances not just for survival, but for growth. He knew who to trust, who to manipulate, and who to eliminate when the time came. The mastermind of strategy. Goldsmith had an eye for detail that set him apart. Where others saw chaos, he saw patterns. He could predict moves before they happened, positioning himself in ways that seemed almost supernatural to those who didn't understand his brilliance. This ability wasn't just luck. It was the result of years of careful observation, experience, and an innate instinct that couldn't be taught. Whether it was in business, alliances, or conflicts, Goldsmith knew how to come out on top. He built relationships that lasted, ensuring that loyalty wasn't just a word, but a currency he controlled. The most fascinating aspect of Goldsmith's rise was how he managed to turn weaknesses into strengths. His size made people dismiss him, but that was his greatest weapon. He slipped through cracks, entered places unnoticed, and gathered information that others would kill for. A reputation that commanded respect. One of the defining traits of Charles "PeeWee" Goldsmith was the respect he commanded. Unlike others who demanded loyalty through fear alone, he built his influence through a mix of intelligence, reliability, and an undeniable aura of authority. People trusted him because he delivered. He wasn't just talk, he was action. When he made a promise, he followed through. And when he made a threat, it was never empty. This reputation turned him into a figure of legend, someone who wasn't just powerful, but also respected on all levels. Goldsmith also had an uncanny ability to make people feel like they were a part of something bigger. He understood the importance of loyalty and ensured that those who stood by him were rewarded. He didn't rule with reckless aggression, but with a precision that made him untouchable. The legacy of a legend. Goldsmith's influence stretched far beyond what most could achieve in a lifetime. He didn't just leave behind a name, he left behind a blueprint. His methods, his strategies, and his ability to turn nothing into something became lessons for those who aspired to follow in his footsteps. People studied his moves, trying to replicate his success, but there was only one PeeWee Goldsmith. His mind, his instincts, and his ability to adapt made him one of a kind. Even after his prime, his name carried weight. People spoke of him in hushed tones, knowing that his legacy was still alive in the lessons he left behind. His story wasn't just about power. It was about the art of control, the mastery of influence, and the understanding that true strength isn't just about muscles or weapons, but about the mind that wields them. The unshakable mind of Charles "PeeWee" Goldsmith. There was something different about the way Charles "PeeWee" Goldsmith thought. His mind was always working, always analyzing, always finding the next best move. While others reacted to situations as they unfolded, Goldsmith was already prepared for the outcomes before they happened. He had a way of seeing possibilities where others only saw roadblocks. His ability to anticipate people's actions, understand their motivations, and predict their choices gave him an edge that made him untouchable. He played the long game, always thinking 10 steps ahead, ensuring that no matter what happened, he would always land on top. One of Goldsmith's greatest strengths was his ability to read people. He could look into a man's eyes and know exactly what he was thinking. Was he lying? Was he afraid? Was he hiding something? Goldsmith could tell. He had spent years refining this skill, studying the way people spoke, the way they hesitated before answering, the way they shifted uncomfortably when they were nervous. Turning small beginnings into unmatched power. Goldsmith wasn't born into power, but he had a gift for creating it. He knew that influence wasn't just about brute force. It was about control, about having something that others wanted or needed. He made himself indispensable, the kind of person others had to rely on, whether they liked it or not. He built his reputation not by demanding respect, but by earning it in ways that were undeniable. When he spoke, people listened because they knew his words weren't empty. When he acted, people took notice because they knew his moves weren't random. Every step he took was intentional, every relationship he formed had a purpose, and every decision he made was designed to expand his influence. What set Goldsmith apart from the rest was his ability to adapt. A man of precision and power, Goldsmith never made a move without careful thought. He understood that one wrong decision could change everything, so he was methodical in the way he operated. Whether it was forming alliances, making deals, or eliminating threats, he approached each situation with the same calculated mindset. His patience was legendary. He never rushed into anything, no matter how tempting it was. He was willing to wait weeks, months, even years for the perfect moment to strike. And when that moment came, he acted with precision, ensuring that his moves were swift, decisive, and final. This patience extended to the way he built his empire. Unlike others who wanted quick success, Goldsmith was in it for the long haul. He knew that true power wasn't about making the biggest splash. It was about creating something that would last. The legacy that refused to fade. Even as time passed, the name Charles "PeeWee" Goldsmith never faded into obscurity. His methods, his strategies, his way of thinking, they were studied, analyzed, and copied by those who sought to achieve even a fraction of his success. But no one could ever truly replicate what he had built. His ability to turn weakness into strength, to see opportunities where others saw dead ends, and to control the world around him with nothing but intelligence and patience was something that couldn't be taught. He wasn't just a man, he was a blueprint for power, a guide for those who understood that true strength came not from muscle or weapons, but from the mind that wielded them. Goldsmith's influence stretched far beyond his own time. His story became the kind of legend that was passed down, a reminder that power wasn't about being the biggest, the loudest, or the strongest. Charles "PeeWee" Goldsmith proved that the mind was the most powerful weapon of all, and his name would forever be remembered as the man who mastered it. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. For more interesting content, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. For more awesome content, have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video.